Hey there guys, Guzman here, back with another video, and today's going to be about how to get the Family Life Merit Badge. Now, this Merit Badge is actually pretty easy, but you need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Now, most kids get caught up in this Merit Badge. I did too, because of one requirement, and I'll go over what that is in a little bit. But moving on to the first requirement of family life, number 1 says to prepare an outline on what family is and discuss this with your Merit Badge counselor. Tell why families are important to individuals and to society. And also in this discussion, discuss how the actions of one member can affect other members. So this requirement I actually got done at La Noche during summer camp. However, it was only the first few requirements because some of these say discuss, which is what we did there, and this picture shows us discussing some of these requirements. But unfortunately, since this is family life, you need to do most of these requirements with your family. And during summer camp, you're not with your family, you're with your counselor. So keep that in mind if you are doing this merit badge during summer camp. You're definitely going to get a partial, unless you do the requirements beforehand. But it's better than having nothing done. So when I went to summer camp, that's what I got. Got some of these done. So requirement A and a couple of the other requirements, that's what I did when I was at summer camp during this merit badge. Moving on to number 2, list several reasons why you are important to your family. Discuss this with your parents or your guardians and with your merit badge counselor. Moving on to number 3. Now this one, it says to prepare a list of regular home duties and or chores, at least 5 of them, and do them for 90 days. Keep a record of how often you do each of them, and discuss with your counselor the effect your chores had on your family. Now, it doesn't say you have to do each of those duties every day. You just need to keep track of them for 90 days and record how often you do each of them. And for example, what I did is I actually went on this Google, whatever it's called. It's Docs, but I forgot what doc it's called. But it's like Excel. So basically, it's like a table, and I did the dates at the sides here, and then I had the different tasks. So my tasks were taking the trash out, putting the trash bins outside, washing laundry, folding laundry, and cleaning the pool. And I just did how often I did each of those chores for 90 days. Occasionally I would forget to do one thing for like a week, or sometimes let me find the gap actually. Like right, there's a gap right here. This is actually when Hurricane Dorian hit, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I wasn't able to do the chores obviously because I wasn't at home because I evacuated. But basically, you can just make something like this. You can see it stops at 90. So the 90th day, it was October 22nd. That was when I got this done. So once you start getting things like logged and everything, what you need to do is concentrate on being consistent with logging your chores. There's a couple places where I forgot to log it, but the next day I just went back and logged it. Just make sure you don't have like an entire month of not logging anything, because then you might have to start over. But yeah, a spreadsheet of any kind so you can keep record of what you've done for requirement number 3. And that is it for number 3. After that 90-day period, honestly, I would actually recommend during those 90-day periods you get everything else done on this badge. So by the end of those 90 days, you can just get the badge. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, so I had to wait a little bit because I got the 90 days done and then I completed the rest of the requirements. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, just a recommendation: do everything else before the 90 days is up. It's just more efficient. So that's it for number 3. Moving on to number 4. With approval of parents and their counselor, decide and carry out a project you would do around the home that would benefit your family. Submit a report to your merit badge counselor outlining how the project benefited your family. For example, your project doesn't have to be anything too fancy, but the one I chose, my dad went to the store to buy an oven, but it's not just any regular oven, it's an actual oven that's built into the wall, which means you would have to install it. So once he picked out one he liked, we were able to measure the dimensions of our old oven, compare it to this oven, and install it into the walls. And also because there are small little things like trying to fit it into the wall and having it stay flush against it. But that's what I did for my project for requirement number 4. Now, this is like a personal kind of project that you would do to benefit your family, because I got that confused with number 5, which also says plan and carry out a project that involves participation of your family. Number 4 was just a family project that you did. This is a family project that involves the entire family, so everyone has to participate. After completing the project, discuss the following with your merit badge counselor. 5A, the objective and or goal of the project. 5B, how members of the family participated. And 5C, the results of the project. And for this family project, it was something I've done before and that you've all have seen. It was a part of my camping merit badge for the conservation project, and it happened to count for this as well because it was also a family project. It was trimming the trees because of the hurricane. And what we did, so I've said this one many times before, but basically we were trimming trees in preparation for Dorian, so when the high winds did come, the tree branches didn't fall out. That's the goal of it. The members participated by cutting it down with us and trying to get all these branches down, and it helped because by the time the winds came, none of the branches destroyed any of the property or like ran into the windows or anything. Okay, so that is it for project-wise, recording-wise. Now this is more relating to like family discussion. So what I want you to do first is to take a breather. Requirement 6 may get confusing because it is long. Understand what is being asked. Requirement 6 has two parts, A and B. A is literally one sentence, with B having 7 subparts. So it may get a little confusing, just bear with me and follow along. Requirements A and B. B consists of a family meeting. And this is an important notice. The star means that this conversation may take place with only one or both of your parents or guardians. Ideally, your entire family needs to be there, but you only need one of your parents. Now, 6A says, discuss with your merit badge counselor how to plan and carry out a family meeting. Moving on to 6B. After that discussion with your counselor, plan and carry out an actual family meeting to include the following subjects. By the way, that star is what I just mentioned earlier with the one parent. Now, a little bit of disclaimer. Keep in mind, my channel is for Scouts 13 and up, and some of these topics you need to discuss for this badge might be sensitive for Scouts below that age. Not saying I'm not saying you can't do the requirement. I'm just saying that what I'm going to say might not be appropriate for Scouts below that age. 6B, the following subjects of your discussion. 1. Avoid substance abuse. Include tobacco, alcohol, and drugs, all of which negatively affect your health and well-being. 6B2 says understanding the growing up process and how the body changes and making responsible decisions dealing with that. And 3, how your chores in requirement 3 contributed to your role in the family. Requirement 3 was the 90 days. 6B4 says personal and family finances. 6B5 is a crisis situation within your family. So a natural disaster or an emergency situation that commonly occurs in Florida is obviously hurricanes. So during Hurricane Dorian, the measurements were saying that by the time it hit my area, it would go up to 150 to 180 miles an hour, which is very, very destructive. So instead of turning it into a sad occasion of evacuation, my dad turned it into a small vacation. Poems. So we went to Cummington, Georgia, where they filmed Dukes of Hazzard, the Museum of the Infantry, Museum of Aviation, the Magnolia Plantation, Mystic Falls, and this kind of cool pecan shop. So while we were there, we took pictures, but it's just to show that like what you can do during emergency situations. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we need to get out of here and like stay away. We can go here while we're waiting for the storm to calm down. So for this requirement, it's just a simple explanation of how you would deal with an emergency situation with your family. And this is what I did. 6B6 is the effect of technology on your family. And finally, 6B7, good etiquette and manners. So again, ideally you need to have all your family there, and this should just be a quick discussion. Obviously, it has to be detailed because you need to discuss those different topics, but it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. I think mine was about 10 minutes or so, and it shouldn't take that long as you prepare beforehand and know what you're doing and talking about. 6B also says the discussion of each of these subjects will most likely carry over to more than one family meeting. Meaning that you don't need to have more than one family meeting. It just might stem into more because of what your family wants to discuss. That's it for number 6. And the final requirement, number 7, discuss with your counselor your understanding of what makes an effective parent and why, and your thoughts on the parent's role and responsibilities in the family. Congratulations! Thank you for watching my video on how to get the Family Life Merit Badge. I hope this was very helpful towards you and making you understand how to get it. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, turn on notifications on my channel, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye!